You guys, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but justice for Jimmy, y'all. Like, justice for Jimmy, because that guy has seen premium shege in the hands of Chelsea. Okay, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Reality Check with Adaeze, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing Love is Blind Season 6, Episodes 10 and 11. Shout out to Love is Blind. I think this season has been the most unpredictable season for me so far. I don't know if it is the most entertaining. I think it has been the most entertaining as well, but it has been one of the most unpredictable seasons. I don't know what to focus on. There's so many things that are happening at the same time, like everywhere something is happening. Anyway, yeah, I actually like this season and I can't wait to watch the finale and the reunion. Those are the two episodes left. I'm sure they'll do After the Altar. Maybe they'll do After the Altar. They didn't even do After the Altar for the last season because the last season was such a mess. They didn't do After the Altar for that season, but hopefully they do After the Altar for this season. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to be going into analyzing the last two episodes couple by couple. Okay, that's the way I have been doing it so far. If you're just new to my channel, I actually have discussed other episodes before. I'll leave them linked down below, or you can just check my channel and you'll see them. Okay, so let's start from Amy and Johnny. So for Amy and Johnny, normal couple. I think they're the most level-headed couple this, not I think, they are the most normal couple this season. And we saw where they went to meet with Amy's father, and Johnny asked Amy's father for her hand in marriage. Now, the way Amy had painted the whole thing before, I was thinking that her father was going to be, you know, kind of quiet and maybe just asking questions and being very serious, or being like hey, what's her name? Bliss. If you guys remember Bliss, Bliss's father was the man was mean, you know. So I was thinking that, oh, it would be something like that, but no, it was a very lovely meeting. You know, the man got emotional talking about his daughter. You can tell that he loves his daughter so much. You know, he got teary-eyed talking about her. He also prayed for her and blessed her, and he gave, you know, Jimmy his blessing as well. So again, like I said in that episode though, when I analyzed that episode, I was saying, that's the previous one, I was saying that I feel like Amy is just trying to get a storyline for herself by saying that, oh, if her father does not agree, she cannot, you know, marry Johnny. Okay, I feel like that was just to make the story a bit spicy because the father agreed. Although, yeah, maybe they have had like behind the scenes conversation and he has gotten on board with it before he came, you know, in front of the camera. So anyway, then they also talked about birth control. Johnny was like, he has gone to do his research about vasectomy and it is definitely not what he thought it was. Yes, it's reversible, but it's not successful 100% of the time. Okay, so you might actually not be able to reverse it completely. So that was why he was like, okay, he's not going to consider vasectomy anymore. And Amy says she's willing to actually go on birth control just to see, you know, just so that they can get intimate and stuff like that. Okay, for me personally, I just feel like she doesn't, there's a middle ground. She doesn't have to go on birth control. They can just, you know, use a condom, or she can track her period and just do it during her safe time. Okay, even though that can be risky, but for me it's better than her going on birth control knowing that she doesn't want it, you know. Yeah, but anyway, that's it about them. They had their special date, they went camping. It was just nice, just cool. They just talked, just, you know, love each other. I love you, I love you, I love you, up and down, whatever. So I'm just going to keep Laura and Jeramey aside because we're going to get into them and we're going to talk a lot about them, but let's just skip them. According to how I placed them in my last video, they are supposed to come after Amy and Johnny, but no, let's just put them at the end. Okay, let's get into Chelsea and Jimmy. So Jimmy took Chelsea to go and see his parents, and you know, his parents were so lovely. They were so normal, just normal country, small town kind of people, right? And yeah, they were actually nice. Okay, although there was a part where the mom was asking Chelsea how old she is, and Chelsea said she's 30, and the mom was like, you're 30? You're 30? I didn't know what to make of that part. Is she saying that, you know, Chelsea is too old for Jimmy? Jimmy is 27, I'll be 28. Okay, so it's not like Jimmy is that young. Okay, but yeah, I get that because she's older, it might be somehow, because she was trying to tell them about, you know, having kids, they don't have to rush or something like that, that they can take their time. But it turns out that, you know, Chelsea is 30, so maybe that was why she was shocked. But you know, the mom was okay with Chelsea. She said she feels Chelsea has a good heart. She can see that Chelsea has stolen her son's heart, and you know, she's okay with it. Yeah, basically they were just nice to Chelsea and they really accepted her. And for the first time I was like, maybe Johnny actually likes Chelsea. Like, because to me before, I've just been seeing it as the guy is just saying what he has to say just so that he can, get to the altar and just move on with the show. But from the way things were going, I was like, does this guy really like Chelsea? Wow, I did not know. Yes, they're engaged, but it doesn't mean that he actually likes her because of the way the show is. But yeah, so he actually said nice things about Chelsea. Now, Chelsea, in fact, both of them, they have this thing where they try to downplay the issues they have in their relationship outside. Okay, whenever they're outside, they tend to downplay whatever issues they have in their relationship. Okay, so Jimmy was a little bit more forthcoming, but Chelsea was like, we've not even had arguments, we've just had conversations. And I was like, which other couple has fought as much as Chelsea and Jimmy? Okay, maybe Laura. No, but even Laura and what's the other one's name? It's not as much as Chelsea and Jimmy. So I was really shocked when she just said, we've just had conversations. I was like, conversations? Is that how you? So what will now happen when you now have a real fight in your own description or whatever? Anyway, yeah, so a fight came afterwards. You guys should just follow this gist, okay? If you've watched it, I'm sure you guys know the part already, but let me just give you guys the gist in case you did not watch it. Jimmy went out for a friend's birthday party. He just went to show face, take a drink and come back. So he spent an hour away from home, okay? According to what he said, like if he wants to be specific, an hour 30 minutes for everything, okay? Like dressing up, leaving the house, coming back, an hour 30 minutes, right? Even Chelsea agreed that he was not out for a very long time, okay? And he told her before he went out that he was going for a friend's birthday party. According to him, he said, he asked her, he told her she can come along, but she was already in bed ready to sleep, okay? And I know that kind of thing. You've seen that the person's already set for bed. There's really no point trying to convince the person to follow you, because now the person might not even want to follow you. So anyway, according to what Jimmy said, Jimmy told Chelsea that she can come along if she wants, okay? Then Jimmy left, and then while Jimmy was out, Mackenzie called Chelsea and told Chelsea that, first of all, I don't even believe that story. I don't really think Mackenzie called Chelsea, but let's just say, okay, Mackenzie did. But for some reason, I don't know why I don't believe that story, because Chelsea has proven to be a liar. So let's just say, okay, that Mackenzie called Chelsea and asked Chelsea, oh, Chelsea, where are you? I saw your fiance, he's out, at this bar. Didn't you come along? Where are you? And she was like, no, I want to just sleep. I want to sleep. That was it, right? Jimmy comes back. She gives Jimmy attitude. The next morning, she gives Jimmy attitude, right? Then they now sit down to discuss. Not that she gave him attitude. I think she said she was cranky or something like that. Anyway, they sit down to discuss, and Chelsea is telling Jimmy that, she didn't like the way Mackenzie called her and told her that she saw Jimmy out, that she doesn't like a man that goes out, that she feels like Jimmy lied to her in the pause when he said that he's not outgoing or he doesn't like to go out. And Jimmy was like, I've spent only 3 hours away from you since we've been back. I work from home. I just went to show face and come back. I stayed only 1 hour plus. And let me tell you guys something, okay? I don't like to go out. My husband doesn't like to go out, okay? My husband is worse than me though, but yeah, I don't really like to go out, right? But even I stay more than 1 hour 30 minutes when I go out. My husband stays more than 1 hour 30 minutes in fact, if my husband stays 1 hour 30 minutes and comes back, I'm not going to find it funny, because it's like, okay, just go. Just go. Okay, so which one is that he spent 1 hour 30 minutes and you think he's an outgoing person because of that? I don't even understand, okay? Coupled with the fact that she was drunk, okay? Chelsea was actually drunk. I don't know why she's drunk at that time already, but Chelsea was drunk. The way she was talking, you could tell that this was drunk talk. But still, all the things she was saying were things that you can tell were eating at her, and the alcohol just made her bring them out, okay? Made her vomit all those things, right? So she started quarreling him. Jimmy was like, I'm not here for this, okay? So he stood up and left. She followed him inside, was like, who were you with? Who did you go out with? Were you not there with your friends? That is just his 2 female friends. And he was like, yes, I introduced them to you, like you know them already, and you said you were okay with it. She was like, oh well, she's not okay with it. She's not okay with it because Jimmy has slept with one of them. And Jimmy was like, I told you this thing behind cameras, okay? I brought this girl into this whole thing. Like, I don't know the particular one. They didn't say who, they didn't say the person's name, but I highly suspect it was how do I describe her now? The dark-haired one. I can't remember what she wore. I think she wore like I've forgotten what she wore, but the dark-haired one that looks a little bit bigger. Out of the 2 friends, the one that looks bigger and has dark hair, I'm suspecting she's the one because of some things she said when they met, okay? But I don't know. Anyway, I was like, this is disrespectful. Why are you bringing up that kind of thing knowing that I brought this person? It's like me now bringing my mom on a show, and then behind the scenes I tell something about my mom, and then on camera you will now repeat that same thing. Like, it's very, very disrespectful. Not even just mom, if my friend is disrespectful, right? But Chelsea was like, yeah, but I'm not comfortable with it because you slept with her, you this, and Jimmy was like, it was a one-time thing, and I told you about it so you can trust me, not so you can bring it up here. Like, I can't continue like this. If you say I don't love you, then I have to leave, because what else can I do for you? I tell you I love you more than any other man tells his fiance. And Chelsea was like, I don't care. But truth be told, Jimmy actually tells her that he loves her more than any other person there. Like it's something he tells her all the time. You know, he tries to assure her all the time, but it's not enough for her. So he was saying that if it is not enough for her, then he has to leave. Okay, and then when she now saw that things have hit the fan and the guy is not here for her foolishness, she now calmed down and went to beg him not to leave. So he did not leave, but I don't think they were like on talking terms again. He was brushing his teeth with so much energy. I was like, don't go and cut your gums or remove your gums because you're angry. Anyway, the next day they came and, you know, started talking things out, and Jimmy was like, he doesn't think he's ready to get married. Me, I was even happy at that point. I was like, okay, is this the end? I was thinking that he would just pull a Kenneth and, you know, say, I can't do this anymore, and call his friend and leave. No, somehow the conversation still led back to, okay, I love you, I want to do this thing with you, blah 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 blah. And that was how they ended up, you know, reconciling. And I was like, what is all this? They are so unpredictable. Like, I could have sworn that after the chaos the night before, that they will not continue again, but lo and behold, that's why I was saying that I have a feeling that Jimmy actually really likes Chelsea. Okay, maybe I've been reading things wrong, maybe that's it. And I feel like Jimmy is not really a very strong person when it comes. He's not really a stubborn person, not even strong. Jimmy is not a stubborn person. Okay, so I think he's kind of person that will go with the flow. I would not be surprised if he says yes at the altar and she'll be the one to say no. He looks like someone that will just be going with the flow, just trying to go with the flow. Okay, but I hope he says no at the altar, because this relationship ain't it. Okay, Chelsea is a very chaotic person. Chelsea loves toxic love. Okay, toxic situations is what she wants, because she told him, I felt more in love with you yesterday than ever. As per, it just reminds me of those people that, you know, like to fight so they can make up. Like, they feel like that fighting and making up is what makes their relationship strong, or is what gives them excitement in their relationship. My dear, I like boring relationship. Okay, if it's that one, I love boring relationships. I don't want that kind of chaotic, toxic stress. I don't want high maintenance relationships where every time we're fighting, or no. The highs are too high for me. Like, your highs are too high, the lows are too low. Nope, I don't like that kind of relationship. Okay, I like a boring, stable, normal relationship. Thank you. I think Chelsea is actually a very manipulative person. Okay, she's actually quite manipulative. She will start crying and using that her nonsense baby voice. I know you made me so sad. I felt so sad. I just don't, you're not gonna like, she uses that to try and manipulate, you know, Jimmy into doing things for her, right? Or just, you know, groveling and begging her and telling her I love you all the time. Okay, but if you notice, at the point where Jimmy stood up and was like, no, I can't take this anymore, her voice now became normal. She now meant to beg him to stay. Okay, so at the end of the day, Chelsea is not, it's not even surprising that she was married for 5 years and she still came on this show. Like, it's not even surprising at this point, because she is a chaotic person. Okay, anyway, let's move to the next couple. The next couple is Clay and AD. Now, let me tell you guys something else. Something in this episode showed me that AD might not be as foolish as we think she is. Okay, it is either AD is very, very foolish when it comes to Clay, but has sense when it comes to other people, or she has sense, she's smart, and she's just, you know, playing along with Clay so that she can just stay on the show longer. Okay, it's one of those two things. It's either she's very, very foolish when it comes to Clay and just normal with every other person, or she's actually just playing a game and is just playing along with Clay just so that she can just be on the show long enough. Okay, I'll tell you guys why later on. I think you guys might have guessed it by now, but anyway, let's just assume that for now all she is just foolish. Okay, let's just assume that for now. So AD and Clay are to meet AD's mom, right? But before Clay comes into the picture, AD is telling her mom that she set like a dinner date for her and Clay at home. She did some DIY stuff, bought him his favorite snacks and stuff, you know, set up something nice for them so that, you know, when he comes back from work, they will have an intimate at home date, you know, have fun and just enjoy each other's company, right? But Clay did not come back home. Okay, and mind you, they've had this issue, like in the last time we discussed, they had this issue of him not coming back home. His mom even told him that he should try and make out time, that if he loves her, he will make out the time. But lo and behold, this is 1 week to the wedding or a few days to the wedding and he's still not coming home. Mind you, they are in their honeymoon season, okay? Even though the wedding has not yet happened, but they just met, okay? And if you have been in a relationship before, you will know that the first few weeks of a new relationship, the first few weeks, the first few months of a new relationship, it's almost like you guys are inseparable. You want to hear everything about the person. You want to spend every time with the person. Like every second, you are not thinking about something important. You're thinking about the person. Every second, you're not doing something important. You're looking for how to be with the person or hook up with the person or go and meet the person, okay? That is how it is in new relationships, except for Clay and Eddie. Except for Clay and Eddie. And also Kenneth and... in fact, except for many of them in this relationship, in this Love is Blind, it's almost like their own is opposite. It's almost like that meeting in the pods excitement dies out the moment they all leave the pods, okay, for some of them. So I don't know what it is, but normally at this time they are supposed to be all over each other. She's supposed to be the one say begging Clay, remember you have work, remember you're supposed to go and do your work, okay? But anyway, Clay did not come home, so Clay actually came to meet her where she was with her mom. She had not seen Clay since the day before, the afternoon before, okay? So he didn't even sleep in the house that night. Hey, God. Oh. Anyway, when he came, he met Eddie's mom. Eddie's mom looks quite nice, but I can see where Eddie gets some of her behaviors from. Eddie's mom seems quite nice. When she saw Clay, she was actually like acting like, hey, I was like, sister, you want to snatch your picking husband, but the way she was acting, you could tell that she really saw Clay as, whoa, one hot guy like that. I was like, okay, so one thing I have even realized about Clay as well is that Clay knows how to say the right things, okay? Clay is someone that sounds rehearsed sometimes. If you don't know the behind the scenes of Clay and Eddie's life, you would actually fall for Clay. Like, you will fall for what he's saying. You would believe that he actually is trying his best to be a good man for Eddie. You will just think that he's a very good person, okay? I'm not saying he's a bad person. Actually, if you even compare him to the other guys on the show, Clay is one of the best people on that show. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Clay is actually one of the best men on that show, right? So I'm not saying that he's a bad person, but if you don't know the backstory, you will just feel like Clay is more. You feel like Clay is everything, right? So he was just telling the mom about everything, but he has to bring up the cheating. He has to bring up his parents' relationship. He can't help himself. He has to bring it up, okay? So he brought this thing up, and the mom was saying that, but yeah, he's a successful businessman, right? You have made right decisions in your life up to now. You don't stop now, okay? I think that's how she said it. She said you've made so many right decisions, or you've made right decisions up until this point. Then don't stop now, okay? Basically, trying to tell him that your parents' relationship is your parents' relationship, okay? You now have the ability to create your own and do things right. And she even said that those things you feel like your parents did not do right, then you do it right in your own relationship. Now at least you can point out those things, okay? Another thing she said is that if the parents were married for 25 years, then the marriage was not that terrible, okay? It wasn't all bad, so he should try and look for the good in the relationship. Yeah, nope. I don't agree. Length of marriage is not only indicator of the success of a marriage, okay? Yes, to an extent she's right. For them to be married for 25 years, then some things would have gone right in relationship, and he should focus on that, okay? But the bad was very bad, okay? The bad was very bad. Like, he was cheating left, right, and center. That's the father. Clay's father was cheating left, right, and center, and he also used to carry his son on those cheating adventures, right? On the infidelity trips is what Clay calls it, right? As much as there are some good things in relationship that he can see, for me, the bad outweighs the good so much that you can't really see the good, okay? Like, of what use is the good if the man cheated on the wife that much? Of what use is the good? I was telling my husband the other day that if me and him reach 25 years, 30 years, when we reach 25 years, 30 years, right? What is the point divorcing the person? Yeah? What is the point? Except, in cases of abuse or let's say you'll be suffering in your marriage all this while, okay, fine. Or like in this case of cheating, right? But when I hear people say things like, oh, irreconcilable differences, I'm like, we go reconcile now, because at that point, what's the point? You're already old, you're already tired. Where are you going to? So as long as there's no major issues in the marriage, if it's just we got tired of each other, no, we can never get tired of each other. Okay, we're together forever, okay? That's how I see it anyway. But yeah, length of marriage is not an indicator of the success of a marriage. So that part to me was like, yeah, what are you saying? But I like when she told AD that if you give him your all and your all is not enough, then you have to know that this guy is not the guy for you. Then AD said something and I was like, huh? AD's mom said that AD had never said this before, but AD said she's ready to follow that man, as in follow Clay. That's why I'm like, something is off. Something is off. Is either Adi is just acting or she is incredibly foolish, because it does not even make sense. Like, you want to follow somebody does not even know where he's going. He does not even know road. Adi was the one that was telling him some basic things about even weddings. Adi was the one that told him that men actually wear rings, okay, on their wedding days. So follow who? Then the worst of the worst was when Adi now said, if that man tells me to jump off a cliff without a parachute, I am going to jump off the cliff knowing that he's gonna be right down there to catch me, or something like that. My sister, if you know what's good for you, don't you dare. No tryer. No tryer. You go pieces. You go pieces. No tryer, okay? What of all the men to say that about is even Clay, that has given you all the hints in this world that the guy is not interested in getting married, okay? He's one that you're saying that if he tells you to jump off a cliff, you will jump knowing that without a parachute, you will jump knowing that he's going to be at the end. What kind of place that one? What kind of place that, my dear sister? What kind of, I can sit down, Joe? You must be a joke. Like, it must be a joke. How can you say that? Even me, I couldn't have even said that about my husband before we got married. I can say it about him now after being married for so long. But if before we got married, I wouldn't have said, if this man tells me to jump off a cliff out. No, because you don't know the person. I mean, of course, you know some things about the person you're going to marry, but the person has not yet given you enough for you to say, I can put my life in this guy's hands, okay? He has not given you enough for that. So that was why I was like, what is she saying? I'm not saying that you can never trust a man, no, but I'm saying, make it make sense now. But seriously, make it make sense now. At least let us see that, okay, this guy has shown you time and time again that he has your back, he's there for you, he's committed to you. Even when your head is not correct, he's still there, okay? Even when things are going on with you, he's there as your pillar, as your support. When he has shown you that over time, then you can now confidently say that, okay? You can then confidently say, oh, if he tells me to jump, I'll jump. But not when you guys have just met how many days ago? Like 2 seconds, like literally 2 seconds. I keep saying it. You guys just met 2 seconds ago, and even in that 2 seconds he has shown you time and time again that he's not ready to be committed to you, and you are saying that. So it doesn't make sense. I think she's an actress, okay? Anyway, so after they meet, you know, the mom was even still telling her that she should fight for it, she should fight for him, okay? She should tell him that, as in that thing she told the mom, that foolishness that she just spilled now, that she should go and tell Clay. Hey God, I can't believe it. Unbelievable. But anyway, Clay and Adi, you know, in their house, they were talking, and then Clay brought up the cheating thing again. He brought up the fact that he watched other Love is Blind season and he felt kind of embarrassed that he hasn't been as prepared, he hasn't said the right things, you know, he's not as ready as people that have come on the show. I was like, which show are you watching from season 1 to now? Do you know how many nonsense men have passed through Love is Blind? Like, I don't know, maybe he's referring to them Cameron and then Brett and then them who else again is even worth talking about? Maybe what's that guy's name? Marshall. Yeah, maybe Marshall. Marshall sounded ready. Maybe Marshall. Yeah, maybe all those people, maybe those are people he's comparing himself to. But see how I'm even struggling to even call out names of people that I can even refer to, right? So I don't get what he's saying. And then this guy actually said that, do they have to follow the timeline? Like, why do they have to get married, you know, in 1 week, as in at the stipulated time that the show stipulates they're supposed to get married? Like, why do they have to get married at that time? That they can get married at any time. And I was like, which other way does Adi want this guy to say that he doesn't want to get married to her? Because I don't even get it, okay? So AD was not telling him that, see, she's okay with getting a no at the altar. Whether she gets a yes or a no, she's okay with it. She's able to pick herself up, but that she cannot become a long-term fiancé. Like, after that, she's not going to continue with him if he says no at the altar. And he was like, right, wow, yeah. I was like... Yeah, this whole thing is just so hilarious. He was like, oh yeah, okay. It's like, what were you expecting to hear from her? Now, there was something he said. I've seen rumors about, or speculations about Clay being bi, okay? I've seen speculations about that. I mean, I'm not here to say whether he is or he's not. I don't really care. I don't think so, but, you know, I don't care. But there was something he said and I was like, that sounds like what your people used to say. He said, I mean, love is love. Like, why do we have to get married on that day? Love is love. Okay, Clay. We know the people that used to say love is love, okay. But yeah, so like I said before, Ade is either an actress or she's incredibly naive or dumb, and then Clay is just looking for a way out. Like, justice for Clay. Clay wants to run away. Okay, so the next scene is where all the cast come together, including the cast that did not make it to the engagement rounds. Okay, so Jessica, Trevor, Sarah Ann, Alejandro, who else? Just a couple of other people that did not make it to the engagement round. They brought them to a barbecue or a what, like a beach outing kind of setting. Okay, they brought them there, and that was where Jimmy met Jessica for the first time in person, but he had seen her picture, and you know the way she was saying, oh, you will absolutely choke when you see me. Jimmy did not choke. In fact, like she even said she was the one that was like jittery around him. Like, Jessica was nervous around Jimmy, and I was like, does Jessica really like Jimmy like that? Maybe she actually does. Though. I did not really believe that she liked him as much as she was saying. But the way she was acting in this episode, it's possible that she actually likes him. I'm like, this season is so unpredictable for me, because she was nervous around him. She was acting like a schoolgirl that has seen her crush. I was like, so like, which part? Where did he go? I was like, that means she actually likes him. I was just thinking it was just cruise. It was just for the drama's sake, you know. And then we see the girls and Laura talking, okay, and Laura is really lighting up Jeramey's ass. Like, Laura is going in. That girl, she know the rest. Laura does not take nonsense. As in, the girl was just going in on him. He's not worth anybody's time. He's a loser. He's a this. He's a that. He's a that. You know, she didn't want to see him. She was just hoping that he would not come. But I'm sure she knew he was going to come. Okay. Even Sarah Ann, I'm sure they all knew that they were all going to see each other at that place. And you know, Jimmy came. Sarah Ann came. And then Jimmy tried to talk to Laura, telling Laura that he tried to send her flowers, but she gave him a nasty reply. He tried to talk to her, but she did not agree. This and that. The truth is that I understand Jeramey's point, right? I understand that maybe he was hoping that Laura would be a little bit more understanding and just listen to him. You know, he made a mistake. He wants to apologize, so she should listen to him. I understand that part. However, what do you expect? Okay, what do you expect? Laura from day one had never been the soft, understanding AD type. Okay, she had never been that one that would just be there with it. Okay, yeah. No, she had never been that one. She had always, from the beginning, even from the pods, she had always been the fiery type, the one that would just be giving you fire for fire, talking like, even the way she talks self, like with so much vim, so much energy, right? So what was Jeramey expecting? You're expecting, like, if anybody is supposed to mess up like that, it's supposed to be Clay. Okay, because Clay, in quotes, has the understanding girlfriend. It's supposed to be Kenneth. Kenneth has the understanding girlfriend, right? I don't understand what he was thinking when he was going to hang out with Sarah Ann, okay? And then there's something that Jeramey keeps saying that even annoys me. Jeramey keeps saying that all they did was talk. All they did was talk. Okay, that's the problem. In case you don't know what the problem is that all you did was talk. The problem is that you stayed with your ex-fiance, not fiance, but your ex, okay? She's an ex in quotes, right? You stayed talking with her from night till 5 a.m. You took her to go and drop her in her house. That alone is inappropriate. I don't know what else he's thinking is inappropriate. Is this when people start having sex on the road or what? Like, what do you think will count as inappropriate if you do not think that what you did was inappropriate? Okay, so I don't understand when he's saying nothing happened between us. Like, everything happened between you people. You people stayed outside and discussed. And again, I don't even believe Jeramey, okay? I don't believe Jeramey. I don't believe that Jeramey was just on his way to the bar and they told him that Sarah Ann would be there, and then he now said, nobody will stop me from doing what I want to do, so I will go. I don't believe that. I believe somewhere in my heart that he actually called up Sarah Ann and decided to meet her at the bar, okay? They planned to meet each other at that bar. That's what I think, but let's just go with their story, right? But even if his story is correct, what he did with her was very inappropriate. Say hi. He said she came to say hi to him, and she said hi with an attitude, and he decided to go and talk to her. That was so unnecessary, okay? I don't like when guys try to act like they don't know what they are doing wrong. Like, you know, I don't, what's bad there? There's nothing. No, you know what you are doing wrong. You know there's something bad there. That's why you did not tell Laura, okay? Anyway, so Laura did not even allow him talk. She did not even allow him like end that foolishness. She helped him to end it there. She even told him that she wants to go and pack her stuff, and then Jeramey said he has already packed her stuff. That part annoyed me. That part annoyed me. Even though it was funny, sha. Like, if it was the other way around, it would have been funny. But what that part annoyed me is that, why are you touching my stuff? Mind you, it's not in his house. So these are her stuff that are inside their shared house that Love is Blind gave them, right? So what right does he have to pack her stuff? Who gave him that audacity to touch her stuff and pack her stuff? Like, what rubbish. So that thing annoyed the hell out of me, and she was like, oh, you packed my stuff. Then, she said, I hope you go and kick rocks with open-toe shoes or something like that. She said it twice. Then we now see AD and Sarah Ann talking, and this is the part where I said AD might not be as stupid as we think she is, okay? So now let that theory come in. Is either she's incredibly stupid, incredibly foolish, or she's an actress, or she's just very smart and she's just playing the game, okay? So that she can remain longer on the show. Now, when AD brought Sarah Ann to talk to Sarah Ann, the way she talked with Sarah Ann, initially, you would think that she was on Sarah Ann's side. Like, she made Sarah Ann comfortable enough to be talking rubbish. And that's when she now fired Sarah Ann. So she was asking Sarah Ann, the way she talks now. So what happened? Did he leave room, in your relationship? Oh, you mean he messaged you? He said that? Really? Oh my goodness. Even though I think she was kind of tipsy though, but the way she was pulling Sarah Ann in, Sarah Ann was like, yes, he said this, he did that. She was like, okay, but I want to understand, like, did he leave room, for you to come in? Like, in what way? Sarah Ann was just there blabbing. Because obviously we know that Jeramey did not leave any room. Like, he did not. Jeramey just told her there was nothing she could have done, he preferred Laura anyway. And that was when, AD now went in and was telling her that what she did was wrong. She shouldn't have done that. He did not pick you. Like, move on. He did not pick you. No matter how you want to. Sarah Ann was saying, I'm not some pick me. No, you are a pick me. You are a pick me, Sha. You are a pick mimi. Why are you saying you're not a pick me when you literally crawled your way into somebody's relationship or into somebody's life? Yes, it's on Jeramey for pursuing you or coming after you as well, or receiving your advances. It's on Jeramey because he's the one that is engaged. He's the one that's supposed to protect Laura's heart and all of that. We understand that part, okay? But you, Sarah Ann, my dear, you were being a pick-me. You were being a homewrecker. You were really giving homewrecker vibes, okay? Let's not even lie. So Sarah Ann now cried. No, she didn't cry immediately. She left angrily. She went to meet Jeramey, okay? Now, I have something else to say about AD. AD, why is it that you have more energy for other people's relationships than your own? The energy that she gave Kenneth and Brittany, the energy she's giving Laura and Jeramey, she's not putting that same energy in her own relationship. And again, who else is putting that same energy in her own relationship? Nobody else. Why is she going to insert herself in other people's relationships? I don't get it, and I think that is inappropriate in itself, okay? But anyway, Sarah Ann now left, went to meet Jeramey. Her and Jeramey now, after lamenting to Jeramey, cried to him. Jeramey was even telling her there was nothing wrong with the message. She was telling Jeramey that, do you think anything is wrong with the message? Jeramey was like, well, I 100% agree with you. There's nothing wrong with the message. I was like, look at you. Tweedledee and Tweedledum, like just two buffoons. Two buffoons, okay? Either buffoons or buffool. Both of them. Not just two of you just there. Just hyping each other up in your nonsense. Anyway, after that, they now went jet skiing. That part pained Laura, Sha. That part was so mean, okay? It was so mean. And then also, Chelsea met Trevor. Yeah. Nothing much there. See, because I know the backstory about Trevor. By the way, it was said that Trevor had a girlfriend while he was filming the show. Him and his girlfriend actually planned that he would come on the show and act single just for clout, basically. Okay, he wants to boost his online presence and all of that. That was why Trevor came on the show, and I was like, I should have stuck to my original thoughts about the guy. I even wrote it down. I remember saying people that say they have good hearts don't have good hearts. Hey, let me see if I can find where I wrote that thing. Those were my first impressions of the guy. I remember me and my sister discussing that night, and we both said the same thing. We were like, there's something off about this guy. But then in subsequent episodes, the way he was now acting, we now started feeling bad for him, kind of. But We should have stuck to our original thoughts about him. Anyway, yes, for my notes, I wrote it down that people that say they have a good heart, you know, people think I'm a meathead, but I'm actually a good person. I have a good heart. People that say that are really have a good heart. Okay, they usually say it to try and bamboozle you and cover up the fact that they're actually not good people. So I remember thinking that initially I should have stuck to that, because what he's doing now, when I even saw him in the last episode, I was like, I beg. I almost skipped their scenes because to me it was just nonsense. And then look at Chelsea that cannot allow Jimmy to drink water and drop cup is there telling another man, I'm still attracted to you, I think about you every day. I was just like, that girl needs slap. That girl, she needs her brain to be reset. You're telling another man that you think about him every time. You're telling him about how you find him attractive and this and that. Meanwhile, if Jimmy should sneeze in the direction of another woman, you will start crying and throwing tantrums like a toddler. And another thing that I mentioned before, and again, it happened again in this episode, is the exaggeration. Jessica said that she cried. Let me remember them. She said that she cried when she found out that Jimmy told Chelsea that he loves Chelsea, that she cried that day more than she had cried in her entire life. And I was like, sister, you must have a very, very good life, okay? Number 2, she told Jimmy that he's the only person walking on the face of the earth. Abi, he knows more about her than anybody walking on the face of the earth. Jimmy, that you met on Love is Blind. Jimmy, that you just knew some weeks ago, knows more about you than anybody walking on the face of the earth. Make it make sense. Like, what sort of exaggeration is that? Then even that AD part telling him, if he tells me to jump off a cliff, what is it? You are everything I've ever wanted in my entire life. Calm down, my dear sister. Then Jimmy told Jessica, you're the most intelligent person I have ever met. What is happening here? She's the most intelligent person you have ever met in your entire life. The most intelligent person you have met in your entire life is someone that you met on Love is Blind and you guys just dated briefly for how many days? Is the most intelligent person you have ever met in your entire life. Well, maybe it's true for Jimmy, Sha. Maybe it's true for Jimmy because he I don't know who he surrounds himself with. So maybe it is true for Jimmy. But again, the exaggerations just annoy me. Like, each time I hear things like that, I just roll my eyes and I'm like, okay, here we go again. Okay, so after that, they now went wedding dress shopping, okay? Let me just say this. I did not find any wedding dress there, so wow. Like, nothing, I wasn't stunned by any wedding dress. Ad's body in her wedding dress was really nice, but I wasn't stunned by the wedding dress. And that makes me want to believe that AD doesn't want to say yes to, or knows that her relationship with Clay is not going anywhere. So she's just going for a very simple and nice wedding gown so that it will not be like her dream wedding gown. That's what I think. That's what I actually think, because the dresses she chose, she was saying that she wants his jaw to drop. She chose plain dresses, the plainest dresses you can ever come across. They look like bridesmaids dresses, okay, even though they're just white. I have a feeling that she's just an actress, but anyway, we'll know next week, okay? Then Chelsea's dress, I think Chelsea's dress was a little bit okay. It was nice, but it wasn't like, oh my goodness, I wasn't so wild. The worst for me was Amy's dress. What is that? And she's one that I'm sure is going to get married, right? At least from all the couples, the one I know that will say yes is Amy. But her dress just looks, well, it's her taste, Sha. So for me, the dresses were just nothing special there. The men went suit shopping. I don't care. I don't think they even showed the suits that they were going to wear. I don't remember seeing the suits, but nothing special there. Anyway, let's just wrap this up by predicting who will say yes and who will say no, okay? So Laura and Jeramey are out of the picture, okay? So for Amy and Johnny, I definitely think Amy will say yes, Johnny will say yes, okay? For Chelsea and Jimmy, I would say Chelsea will say yes, Jimmy will say no, or Jimmy will say yes and Chelsea will say no. I don't know, it's kind of 50-50, kind of unpredictable, but I actually think that Jimmy will say no, Chelsea will say yes, okay? Then for AD and Clay, I definitely think Clay will say no, and AD will say yes. Okay, if AD talks first, AD will say yes, and Clay will, say no. Okay, but if Clay talks first, Clay will say no, and that's it. Like AD will just be heartbroken and leave the stage. Okay, or whatever. Or if that feeling I have is real, then Clay might actually say yes, and AD will say no. Okay, if that nagging feeling I'm having is actually real, that AD might just be an actress, then AD will say no and Clay would say yes. Okay, because I see Clay struggling. Even though I feel like Clay is just annoying, I kind of think that somehow maybe Clay is actually genuine and he's actually really struggling. But Oga, if you are struggling, go and get a therapist. This is not the show for you to come and heal yourself. It's not the show for you. Like, go and get a therapist, then maybe go and do perfect match or something before you now settle down and try to get married. Okay, but from everything that we have seen so far, I don't even think Clay is as much as a player as he thinks he is, or as he tries to make it sound. I don't think so. Anyway, let's just see how it goes. On Wednesday, we're going to know who says yes and who says no at the altar, and I can't wait for that reunion, and let's see how they hash things out in the reunion. Okay, but anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.